Hello, my friends. It's Coach Rodney Allgood, coming to you with another video that will help you on your journey moving forward, up and away from the Jehovah's Witnesses. Today, we're going to be talking about how do you wake people up? Big question. I get it all the time. Get a pen and paper, get ready to take some copious notes. It's going to be a good one. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that button right there so you can be alerted as to when I make and post new videos. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group, the Empowered Minds group, just look in the text under this video and hit the link to join our group there. So, how do we wake people up? Well, it's not an easy thing to do. Not at all. And for a lot of you, you've had this frustration where you come with your facts and you come with your clippings and articles and videos, things that are so glaringly true, things that are a no-brainer. Any logical person would look at this stuff and just know it's true. Things that you can verify. You try to get this in front of your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, other loved ones, and they won't even look at it. And you bang your head against the wall and you keep trying to figure out, how do I turn the light on? It's so obvious. Well, first of all, remember that for most of you, you were once just like them. And if someone came to you with information that put the witnesses in a bad light, you would reject it. You see, the witnesses have done a great job of brainwashing people to put everything that is not favorable to the witnesses under the label of apostasy or apostate material. So they just reject it. So how do you wake these people up, you ask? Well, there's two things to remember. It's all about timing, and it's all about you being an example of what life can be like after you leave. Remember those two things: timing and your life example. It's not about saying the right thing. It's about saying the right thing at the right time, the right way. I'm going to say that again. It's about saying the right thing at the right time in the right way. It's all timing. They say that a person convinced against their will remain of the same opinion still. You see, a lot of times people are focused on the information they're sharing with people, but what they're not considering is that if you're right, it's not about just being right about the information. If you're right, then life as I know it ends. If you're right, I lose my family, I lose my friends. For some people, their income is threatened. They lose everything if you're right. So there's a part of someone's mind that just shuts down because they don't see anything wrong with their life yet. And when you're coming with this information that's threatening, you're threatening everything. It's not just about what you're showing them, it's everything. And most people aren't prepared to even deal with the thought of that. Why would they look at it in their minds? I love my life. I love my religion. I love my family. I love my friends. So it's less about what's true and more about the life that they're living. Witnesses are not really seeking truth. They're seeking to defend their life. They're seeking to defend their way of life. It's not really about truth. You see, people who seek truth keep asking questions. People who seek truth are open to changing their mind, knowing there's always going to be new levels and new revelations. Witnesses aren't seeking truth. They call it the truth, but they're not seeking truth. Truth seekers ask questions. Truth seekers change their minds when given more information on something. Witnesses aren't seeking truth. So when you're trying to shove truth down their throats, they reject it because they're not seeking it. You have to wait until there is a opening. You have to wait till there's an opening. If someone's door is dead-bolted shut and they've got like 4 locks locking this door, you banging on it and banging on it, kicking on it is not going to make a difference. You just become more threatening to that person. You have to gain a keen eye for when the door is ajar. Sometimes the door looks closed, but it's not quite closed. Those are the people that you can wake up. Those are the people that you approach. Those are the people who might be ready. And when you open the door, you don't have to kick it in. You can slowly open it so they can see what's on the other side in a non-threatening way. They're ready now. Let me give you this analogy. A woman who just got married, maybe she's been married 6 months, and she thinks, oh my God, he's heaven. This guy is amazing. I never had a man like this. He's so attentive. He's so everything. He just does everything right. And she's so in love with her life. And then her best friend sees her man downtown holding the hands of another woman, kissing up on another woman. And she goes, oh my God, I can't believe what I just saw. As her best friend, I must tell her. I must tell her. So she breaks it across town, gets to her friend's house, knocks on the door and says, hey, listen, I'm so sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I saw your man earlier today with another woman, holding hands, kissing on each other downtown. 9 times out of 10, that wife will get mad at her friend who brought the message. 9 times out of 10. Because she's not ready for that information. Now, say a year goes by, and this man starts coming home late. Always got late business meetings. Taking trips, business trips, unscheduled, just unplanned. I gotta go to, I gotta go to New York. Something came up. Everything doesn't make sense. He's always running in the back room to use his phone. Everything about him is suspicious. Comes home smelling like perfume every now and then. Girlfriend sees him downtown with another woman. She breaks it across town to her friend's house and says, I saw your man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I saw your man with another woman downtown. Now the woman says, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Thank you so much. You are such a wonderful friend. See, big difference. And it's the same with the witnesses. Now, point number 2. Make sure your life has been built into an admirable one. Because witnesses are used to people. I know when I was a witness, I thought people who left had lives that were a mess. And I was mostly right. Most of them were not doing very well. So make sure your life is right. Make sure you've gone beyond the angry stage. So nobody wants to follow an angry person. And make sure that your life is one that shows them that a even better life can be created after leaving the witnesses. Because they'll want to follow you. No one wants to follow an angry person. When I first left, I was angry. When I first left, I tried to just shove everything down people's throats. I just wanted to be right. I was angry. No one wanted to be like me. No one wanted to follow me. Nobody wants to follow angry people, especially if they're content with their life. A lot of witnesses are happy with their life. We can't pretend that they're not. A lot are. A lot just love the community. The community they're in. Make sure your life is a purpose-driven life that people would want to follow. So when I finally got over my anger, and I decided that I would become a motivational speaker, that I would speak at high schools and colleges and corporations and all kinds of stuff. In the beginning, I was a youth speaker. And I really focused on that. I focused on speaking at high schools to large groups of kids, and I worked real hard, and I finally created that career for myself. So imagine the joy when I got invited to go back to where I was last a witness and speak at all the high schools there, and all the witnesses and everyone else gets to see me on the cover of the newspaper. That's me speaking in front of like maybe 2,000 kids at a high school there. That's me here in front of all those kids. And they get to see that Rodney is doing just fine. That might ignite some dreams in them. It might make them feel like, well, there's things I wanted to do and I didn't get to do because I'm in this really. He's doing fine. He didn't end up on drugs. He didn't end up to be a derelict person because he lost Jehovah's Spirit. I'm curious now. And I have had more than a few not ex-witnesses, people who are current witnesses, contact me and ask me questions because they saw me here or they saw me on TV or they saw me on the newspaper or different things, that got around. And a couple of them really woke up because I was an example of what could be after you leave. So, my friends, please don't just get consumed with witness things where you're not spending time on yourself, going after your dreams, becoming more of what you can be and not less of because you left the religion. Don't try to wake people up while you're still angry because no one wants to follow an angry person. People want to follow people that they want to be like. You see, the story of Harriet Tubman, for those of you who don't live in America and don't know who Harriet Tubman is, Harriet Tubman was an enslaved woman. She was a slave back in the 1800s, and she was an escaped slave. She ran away, and she got to freedom. If they got to the northern states or to Canada, they got their freedom. She got her freedom. And then she came back to help other slaves free themselves. They created something called an Underground Railroad, which was a string of houses that people had who were sympathetic to slavery and wanted to help the slaves, where they hid the slaves in those houses all the way up to the northern states or to Canada. Harriet Tubman saved about 300 slaves. But she got herself free first. She didn't get halfway there and try to bring 20 people with her. She knew she had to understand the entire route herself. Then she came back, and she helped over 300 slaves become free. Now, an interesting quote from Harriet Tubman was this. She said, I saved 300 slaves. I helped free 300 slaves. But I would have helped a lot more. I would have freed a lot more if they knew they were slaves. You see, some people that she tried to help would say, I'm good. Master treats me good. I'm not going anywhere. They loved their life, not understanding what freedom was. And there are a lot of witnesses like this. Harriet Tubman didn't waste time trying to convince people who weren't convinced that they wanted to be free. She wanted the ones who were ready. So just like Harriet Tubman, we can only work with the ones that are ready, and we need to completely free ourselves first. Leaving the witnesses is not freedom. It's when you get on your authentic path, when the witnesses no longer trigger you on a daily basis, where you're free up here, you're free to be you. When you're living an authentic life, and you know you're where you should be in life, doing what you should be doing, that's when you start becoming free. So worry about your path first. Get truly free up here. Don't work from an angry space. This way you can be logical, right? You can help people in a logical way. Harriet Tubman didn't work from an emotional place, so she would have just wrecked everything. logical, step by step, working with the people who are ready to work with her. Same here, my friends. Thank you for watching this video, my friends. Keep doing what you're doing. Step at a time, that's all we can do. One foot in front of the other. Eventually you'll get to wherever you seek to go. Whatever you could create in your mind, your imagination is your gold. This is everything. Whatever you can imagine up here, you could create out here. So keep moving, keep stepping, and I'll see you next time.